My sister kept spreading gossip that my husband was attracted to her. She completely lost it when I proved to everyone she was lying. And then I did something that exposed her so thoroughly, she'll regret it for the rest of her life. Can you imagine your own sister trying to steal your husband? My sister, Serafina, did exactly that. She spent months systematically trying to dismantle my marriage with manipulative whispers and calculated lies, but I was done playing her game. The night I finally exposed her. Let's just say her public meltdown was a sight to behold, a moment of pure, raw comeuppance that still gives me chills. It started so subtly, like a tiny crack in the foundation of my life, but it quickly became an earthquake. He looks at me differently when you're not around. My sister Serafina dropped that bombshell like a casual observation at Mom's 58th birthday party. We were in the dining room, and she said it loud enough for everyone to hear. My cousins Maya and Chloe, by the punch bowl, instantly pretended to be deaf. Reese, my husband, was blissfully unaware, focused on slicing another piece of Mom's famous chocolate cake. I was at the kitchen counter, knife in hand, meticulously cutting that very cake into perfect squares. Mom had asked me to make sure everyone got an equal piece. It was so typical. Serafina got to swan in late, designer dress, center of attention, while I did the work and was silently judged for it. What did you just say? I asked, the knife hovering. The frosting clung to the blade, a sticky, uncomfortable metaphor for the moment. She just gave me that sweet, fake smile, the one she'd perfected by 14, realizing innocence was her superpower for being cruel, especially with our parents. Nothing, just an observation. Her voice had that sing-song quality, like she was trying to sound casual, but really, she was planting a bomb and trying to walk away before it detonated. Reese was across the room, by the fireplace, passionately talking to my Uncle Mark about the Bulls. He hadn't even glanced at Serafina since we arrived. But I'd been watching. Always watching lately, because Serafina had trained me to. For the last 6 months, she'd been turning me into a surveillance system in my own marriage. It had been going on for months. These little comments, these tiny seeds of doubt, dropped into conversations at family gatherings. Whispered to relatives when I stepped away. Slipped into group texts. Reese always laughs harder at my jokes than yours. He texted me last night just to chat about nothing. Isn't that sweet? Sometimes I think he married the wrong sister. Don't you? Each one delivered with that same innocent smile, that same casual tone. She wasn't just talking. She was systematically trying to dismantle my marriage, and I couldn't figure out why. I'm a Vance, 32, a high school English teacher. My salary covers the mortgage and groceries, but not the designer clothes Serafina flaunts from her marketing job, a company I barely understand but clearly pays for her chic downtown Chicago apartment. I was the boring older sister, married first at 27 to Reese, an accountant I met at a friend's wedding. Our life was comfortable, normal, happy, unremarkable in every way that mattered, until Serafina decided she needed to be the star of a story that had nothing to do with her. At first, I tried to ignore her. Serafina always craved attention. It was her defining trait, the one everyone knew and forgave because she was the pretty sister, the fun one, the one everyone loved. According to family lore, she was homecoming queen. I was in drama club. She dated the football captain. I dated nobody until college. Our parents' house was a shrine to her triumphs. I just accepted it. Serafina shined. I orbited. That's just how our family worked. But the comments about Reese escalated. They became more frequent, more pointed, more public. At Thanksgiving, she told Mom, right in front of me as I mashed potatoes, Reese keeps staring at me. It's uncomfortable. I don't know what to do. Her voice was so concerned, like a victim. Mom pulled me aside later, face serious. Is everything okay with you and Reese? Is something going on? My stomach dropped. Mom believed Serafina. She thought my marriage was in trouble. Serafina's making things up. I insisted. Mom's face suggested she didn't know who to believe. That was a knife to the gut. The realization that my own mother might side with the lie. At Christmas, Serafina wore a completely inappropriate low-cut red dress. She positioned herself next to Reese at dinner, despite Mom's seating chart. She laughed too loud at everything he said, touched his arm repeatedly. Reese looked so confused, so uncomfortable, trying to subtly shift away, but she pursued him like a heat-seeking missile. Later, I overheard her telling Aunt Lena, "The chemistry between us is undeniable. I think he feels it, too, but he's too loyal to admit it." Aunt Lena looked scandalized and thrilled. Scandal was the currency of our family gossip, and Serafina had just deposited a fortune. The whispers followed us through Christmas dinner. We were specimens under glass, our relationship dissected by people who'd known me forever, but were now ready to believe I was the oblivious wife in a love triangle I hadn't known existed. By New Year's Eve, I'd had enough. We were at my parents' house again, of course. Serafina cornered me in the kitchen while I refilled the chip bowl. Everyone else was counting down to midnight. "He's going to leave you eventually," she said, matter-of-factly. "Might as well accept it now and save yourself the embarrassment." My hands gripped the chip bag until it crinkled. "Reese doesn't want you," I spat. She laughed. A bright, amused sound. "Then why does he text me every night? Why does he call me when you're asleep? Why does he tell me things he doesn't tell you? Check his phone if you don't believe me." And then she walked away, back to the party, leaving me in the kitchen with a pounding heart. That night, after Reese had fallen asleep on the couch, I did something I'd never done. His phone. His passcode was our anniversary, 0119. So sentimental, so bad at security. My hands shook as I opened his messages, bracing myself for the proof that my sister was right, that my husband was a liar, that my marriage was a farce. But there were no texts to Serafina. Not one. Not a single outgoing message in 6 months of chat history. Only her texts to him. Dozens. Maybe 50. All unanswered. Just sitting there. Those 2 check marks meaning he'd read them and chosen not to respond. "Thinking about you tonight. Miss talking to you. Call me when you can. She doesn't appreciate you like I would. You deserve someone who understands you. I dream about us sometimes. Do you?" I scrolled through them all, feeling sick and angry. The messages dated back 6 months, escalating from casual to desperate. Photos of her in outfits, links to articles, questions about his day. It was a one-sided conversation with herself, creating a relationship that existed only in her imagination. I took screenshots. Every single message. Then I checked his call log. Nothing from Serafina, except 17 missed calls in 1 week. All ignored. All sent to voicemail. I woke Reese up. Showed him my phone. The screenshots. "Did you know she was doing this?" His face went red, then white. "I thought if I ignored her, she'd stop," he whispered. "I didn't want to make it a thing. Didn't want to cause family drama, so I just didn't respond. I blocked her number after she sent." He stopped, looked away. "After she sent what?" He pulled up his photos, scrolled to a folder labeled, "Do not open." He showed me a picture Serafina had sent 3 weeks ago. Her in black lingerie, lying on her bed. The caption, "Wish you were here." My stomach churned. Jesus Christ, I breathed. I blocked her immediately, but then she started calling from different numbers. Friends' phones, I think, or those app numbers. I stopped answering calls from numbers I didn't recognize. He took my hands. "I swear to God, I have never encouraged this. I don't want her. I've never wanted her. This is insane. This is stalking. I knew he didn't. But knowing didn't stop the anger. Didn't stop the humiliation of having spent 6 months watching my family believe my sister's lies while my husband had been quietly dealing with harassment he was too uncomfortable to talk about. She's telling everyone you're in love with her, I told him, my voice tight. Mom believes it. Aunt Lena believes it. Half the family does. Reese's jaw tightened. What do you want to do? I thought for a minute, looking at the screenshots, at the evidence of my sister's obsession, at 6 months of lies I could finally prove were lies. Then I smiled. Not a happy smile, a cold, calculated one. The smile of someone who just realized they had a nuclear option and was deciding whether to use it. I want to prove her wrong. Publicly. 2 weeks later, January 14th, another family dinner at Mom's. Everyone came. Mom and Dad, Aunt Lena and Uncle Mark, Aunt Sophia, cousins Maya, Chloe, and Leo. Reese's parents, too. And, of course, Serafina. She showed up 20 minutes late in a red dress that looked like it cost more than my car payment, hair professionally styled, makeup flawless. She walked in like she was at a premiere. She sat next to Reese again, even though Mom had made a seating chart. Reese tried to shift chairs, but Serafina just laughed. I always sit next to my favorite brother-in-law, she cooed, like it was a charming quirk, not a boundary violation. I just smiled, brought out the bruschetta I'd made from scratch, and watched her perform. During appetizers, she laughed at something Reese said. He hadn't said anything funny. He'd just asked her to pass the bread basket, but she acted like he'd delivered a stand-up routine. You're so funny, Reese, she cooed, touching his shoulder. Her hand lingered for 3 seconds. 4. 5. You always make me laugh. Mom was watching. Everyone was. I saw the looks, the raised eyebrows, the whispered comments. After dinner, a pot roast everyone praised excessively because that's what you do at Mom's dinners, I stood up. I clinked my wine glass with a fork. The sound was sharp, clear. I have an announcement. Everyone turned. Conversation stopped. Forks paused mid-bite. Serafina smiled like she knew what was coming. Like she thought I was about to admit defeat, to announce a separation, to confirm her lies. Like she'd won. Reese and I have been working on something special, I said, my voice steady, calm. The voice I use in my classroom when I'm about to explain something important and need everyone's attention. A project for the past 2 months. Serafina's smile faltered just slightly. A tiny crack. See, Serafina's been saying some interesting things about Reese, about their connection. I made air quotes. I watched her face shift from confident to uncertain. Things about how he texts her every night, how he looks at her differently, how they have this undeniable chemistry, how he married the wrong sister. The room went completely silent. Mom shifted uncomfortably. Aunt Lena stopped chewing her pot roast. So, I decided to document everything. I pulled out my laptop. I'd had it ready in the kitchen, meticulously planned every word. I opened it on the table, turned the screen towards the room. These are text messages from Serafina to Reese from the past 6 months. The screen filled with screenshots. I'd organized them chronologically, highlighted the most damning ones in yellow. Thinking about you tonight. Can't stop. You deserve better than her. I dream about us. Do you dream about me? Just say the word and I'm yours. I scrolled slowly, letting everyone read. The room was silent, except for breathing. A chair creaking. Aunt Lena's quiet gasp. These are all from Serafina to Reese. Dozens of them, over 6 months. I looked at Serafina. Her face had drained of color. Her hands gripped the edge of the table. Reese never responded, I continued. Not once. Not to a single message. I scrolled more. More messages, each more desperate. Here's where she texted him at 2:47 a.m. on December 3rd, can't sleep. Thinking of you. Wish you were here instead of with her. Here's where she sent him a photo on December 18th. I didn't show the photo itself, I still had standards, and Reese's parents were in the room, but I showed the message that came with it. Do you like what you see? This could be yours. Mom's hand flew to her mouth. Dad's face turned red. Reese blocked her number after that, so she started calling from different phones, borrowed phones, app-generated numbers, whatever she could use. I pulled up the call logs. The screenshot showed 17 calls in 1 week, all from different numbers, all ignored. Then she created a fake Instagram account to follow him and send him messages when the blocking wasn't working. I showed the Instagram account username at love_secretly. The profile picture, a blurry photo that was clearly Serafina, but taken from an angle that made it almost deniable. I showed the messages she'd sent from that account. Reese, I know you feel it, too. The connection between us. We're meant to be together. You just need to be brave enough to admit it. Leave her. Choose me. I promise I'll make you happier than she ever could. Serafina stood up. Her chair scraped against the hardwood. She was shaking. Her face was white, except for 2 angry spots of red on her cheeks. This is. You're twisting things. You're taking them out of context. Am I? I asked. My voice still calm, still steady. Losing control now would ruin everything. Did you, or did you not, tell Aunt Lena that Reese texts you every night? She didn't answer. Her mouth opened. But no sound came out. Did you, or did you not, tell Mom at Thanksgiving that Reese stares at you and it makes you uncomfortable? Silence. Her hands were shaking now, her carefully applied makeup starting to run as tears welled in her eyes. Did you, or did you not, tell me 2 weeks ago in Mom's kitchen that Reese is going to leave me for you? Her mouth worked soundlessly like a fish pulled from water. Did you, or did you not, send my husband a photo of yourself in lingerie with a message asking if he liked what he saw? Mom stood up abruptly. Serafina. Her voice was sharp, cold. The voice she used when we were children and had done something unforgivable. Is this true? All of it? Serafina's eyes filled with tears. Real ones this time, not the performative crying she'd perfected. I thought he gave me signals. What signals? I asked. That he existed near you. That he was polite at family gatherings. That he didn't actively run away when you sat next to him. My voice was harder than I'd intended, but I didn't soften it. The way he looked at you as confused and uncomfortable because you were harassing him. He was trying to be nice because you're my sister and he didn't want to cause family drama. You interpreted his politeness as interest. That's not love, Serafina. That's delusion. She started crying harder, louder. The dramatic sobbing that had always worked on our parents. Her shoulders shook. Mascara ran down her face in black rivers. She covered her face, making sounds like her heart was breaking. Nobody moved to comfort her. Not Mom, not Dad, not even Aunt Lena, who usually rushed to defend her. Everyone just sat there, staring, processing, realizing everything they'd believed for 6 months had been a lie. Dad stood up, his face hard. Serafina, I think you should leave. Dad. Her voice was pleading, desperate, the little girl voice she used when she wanted him to fix things. Now. She grabbed her expensive designer purse and ran out. Her heels clicked on the hardwood. The front door slammed hard enough to rattle the windows. Through the window, I watched her get into her white Audi and drive away too fast. The room stayed silent for what felt like hours, but was probably 30 seconds. Then Aunt Lena spoke, her voice small. "I owe you an apology. Both of you." I believed her. "I'm so sorry." Mom nodded slowly, her face pale. "So do I, Reese. I'm so sorry. I should have. I should have known better. I should have trusted you." Reese took my hand under the table, squeezed it hard. I squeezed back, feeling something in my chest unclench for the first time in 6 months. The next morning, I woke up to a text from Serafina, sent at 3:47 a.m. from a number I didn't recognize. "You humiliated me in front of everyone, in front of the whole family. You made me look insane. You destroyed me. Are you happy now?" I stared at it for a long time. Then I typed, "You humiliated yourself. I just showed the receipts. You spent 6 months lying about my husband, harassing him, trying to destroy my marriage, and making everyone believe I was too stupid to see it. I just proved you wrong. If you feel humiliated, that's because you should be." Sent. Blocked the number. 3 days later, Serafina posted a long rant on Facebook. My cousin Maya sent me a screenshot before it got deleted. A wall of text about toxic family members, jealous sisters, being misunderstood and persecuted for having feelings. The comments were brutal. "Girl, you literally stalked your sister's husband. This isn't being misunderstood. This is being called out. You sent him a photo in lingerie and you're the victim. Make it make sense." She deleted the post an hour later, then her entire Facebook account, then Instagram, then Twitter. Mom called me that night, her voice careful. "Serafina's not coming to Easter. She says she needs space from the family." "Good," I said. "She's very upset. She's been crying for days. She should be upset. She should be crying. She tried to destroy my marriage for 6 months." Mom sighed, the sound heavy with the weight of a mother who loved both her daughters, but had finally realized one of them was the problem. "You were harsh at the dinner." "Was I?" I asked, "or was I just honest?" "I showed evidence, text messages, call logs, photos. Everything she did, I documented and shared." "If that's harsh, what do you call what she did to me?" Silence on the other end, then Mom's voice, cracking slightly. "I'm sorry. You're right. I'm so sorry I believed her. I'm so sorry I doubted you. You should be," I said, and hung up before she could try to smooth things over or minimize what had happened or suggest that maybe I should be the bigger person and forgive. Reese hugged me from behind, resting his chin on my shoulder. "You okay?" "Yeah, I'm good." I smiled, turning in his arms. "That dinner was brutal. Remind me never to piss you off." He chuckled. "You don't have anything to worry about. You didn't do anything wrong." She did. 2 months later, it was March again. Spring was trying to arrive in Illinois with its usual mixture of rain and false promises of warmth. Serafina sent a long apology text from yet another new number, dated 11:23 p.m. on a Tuesday. Clearly written after significant thought, or possibly significant wine. She said she was in therapy now, working on herself, understanding her unhealthy patterns, recognizing she'd hurt me and Reese and the whole family. She was so sorry for everything and hoped someday I could forgive her and we could rebuild our relationship because family is important and life is too short, and other platitudes that sounded good but didn't address the 6 months of targeted harassment and lies. I read it twice. Then I deleted it, blocked the number, didn't respond. Reese found me in the kitchen later. "Was that from her?" "Yeah." "What did you say?" "Nothing. I deleted it." He kissed my temple. "Good." Sometimes people think forgiveness is the same as healing. That you can't move forward without reconciliation. That family means you have to keep giving chances no matter how many times someone proves they don't deserve them. But I learned something in the past 6 months. Forgiveness is optional. Boundaries are essential. And some bridges are better burned than crossed. Serafina spent 6 months trying to steal my husband, trying to convince my family I was too stupid to see what was happening, trying to make me doubt my own marriage and my own reality. I spent one dinner proving her wrong with evidence she couldn't deny. If she feels humiliated, that's not my problem. That's the natural consequence of her choices. I kept the screenshots, all of them. Backed them up in 3 different places. Not because I plan to use them again, but because sometimes you just need proof that you weren't crazy, that it really happened. That you were right to protect yourself and your marriage, even when it meant going to war with your own family. Reese and I are fine. Better than fine. The whole crisis forced us to communicate better, to trust each other more deeply, to build walls around what matters instead of leaving ourselves vulnerable. My family is different now, more careful, more aware that Serafina's version of reality doesn't always match actual reality. Mom apologized 3 more times. Dad sends me texts checking in. Aunt Lena invited us over for dinner without Serafina, saying, "I want to make it up to you." And Serafina? She's still in therapy, supposedly. Still absent from family gatherings because she needs space, which really means she can't face what she did or the consequences. I don't miss her. I don't think about her much anymore. Sometimes I see old photos, her and me as kids, in better times, before she decided my life was something she wanted to take. And I feel a ghost of something that might be sadness, but is mostly just relief that it's over. The last thing I heard through the family grapevine, which still flows even without her in it, is that she moved to Atlanta. Started over. New city, new job, new Instagram account under a different name. Maybe she learned something. Maybe she didn't. Either way, it's no longer my problem. My marriage survived. My boundaries held. My evidence proved true. And sometimes that's all the ending you need. The proof you were right, the validation you weren't crazy, and the peace that comes from closing a door that should never have been opened in the first place. Have you ever faced something like this in your own family? What would you have done if your sister tried to steal your husband? Tell me what you think in the comments below. I really want to know.